I've had my 10-inch CUTECH jointer now, or CUTECH. I've heard people pronounce it both ways. For some reason, CUTECH sounds better to me. Anyway, and I've been very pleased with it for a benchtop jointer. When I had a joint, face joint or edge joint, longer material, I've got a couple Bora roller stands that I can extend to the sides, and certainly helps. Not perfect, not like having a floor model jointer, but certainly for someone who just wants a bench top at this point, it's been quite good. The only thing I've really had to adjust over time is, again, the bad habit sometimes of putting things on the pork chop, on the guard. And I find that the guard will loosen up. There's screws here to adjust it and tighten it, and to get it to the height that you want it at. I've run a lot of hardwood through this. I've recently did a project with quarter sawn sycamore. I've run Purple Heart. I had a project where I'm still working on that had, about 140 feet of southern yellow pine, 2x12 that I ripped down to 2x5s, and very sappy wood, and it ate through it no problem. And with hardwoods, it's never bogged down, but of course the key to that with any benchtop jointer is to take shallower passes. I upgraded when I first got it to the cast iron fence, and it's very solid. It has some additional braces, and once you get it to 90 degrees, it stays there. I think it's definitely worth the $100 or so upgrade from the stock fence. And in terms of the table, it has largely maintained its finish. I do clean it fairly regularly, although I do have, it's not going to show up perfectly here, a couple places where I have caused a little dents or a little bit loss of surface. Frankly, for the amount of work I've put through it for a year, and the fact that it's just a benchtop model, that's very minor in my opinion, and nothing that would cause me to change my opinion of this. I did turn the cutters once in the year I've had it, and it's very easy. You don't even have to remove the entire screw to turn them. You just turn them 90 degrees. These cutters have two cutting sides, so I'm on my second cutting side of this set. It does come, when I bought it, it came with, I believe, 10 extra cutters. Now, it is a spiral head, right? It's not a helical head, but I have not, again, I'm just a hack hobbyist, but I've not found it to be insufficient by any means. I do have a helical head on my DeWalt planer. So I do know that such a head is better to have the offset of the cutter knives, but for a spiral head, this has been really good and certainly better than straight knives. Overall, I've been real happy with it. It is probably the loudest machine in my shop, and so that's one of the only real downsides, I would say, and that could just be that it's a smaller unit. The motor is more exposed. I did have to contact CUTECH once with a customer service question. There was a mistake in the manual. It talked about installing screws, and when I went to install the screws, they were already there. And I called them. They picked up on the first ring and knew right away why I was calling, pretty much, and that it's a mistake, that they used to ship them without those screws installed, but now they ship them with the screws installed. And so I was very impressed that they picked up so quickly when I did have a question. So overall, I like this. I only wish I would have spent another $100 and gotten the 12-inch. I think when I do eventually upgrade to a floor model, I'll probably, if I only get an 8-inch floor model, which is probably what my budget's going to call for, I'll probably still keep this just for the extra capacity. It's just been that good of a machine. And what I like about having the wider width, the 10-inch or a 12 over the 6 or 8, is that I can adjust the fence, and even if my material's only say 3 inches or 4 inches wide, I can adjust the fence to bring it out over here and run it as if it is a 6-inch jointer, meaning I can try to more evenly wear the cutting knives, and not just always rely upon the cutting knives at this end of the cutter for my material. And so I do that quite a bit. That's probably why I got a whole year out of one side of my cutting knives, although maybe I should have turned them a little bit sooner than I did. But I really like that. That's one reason to not settle for a 6-inch or maybe not even an 8-inch cutter head, is that it allows you to save time by not having to either change straight knives as often, because you can again move the fence out and run it as if this is the face of your cutter head, and thereby relieving some of the work that would otherwise be done on cutter heads towards the fence. But again, thanks for watching this little video. Just wanted to say I've been real happy with this machine. It's done everything I've asked for it to do, and I would buy it again. Although, like I said, if you have the extra money for the 12-inch, I highly recommend doing it, just again for the flexibility. And long term, if you do get a larger floor model jointer, it would allow you to still hold on to the 10 or the 12-inch for wider material that you might not be able to do as easily on the narrower cutter head.